Your brand book should contain a few different things. Some of my favorite things to include in there are the founder's vision, which is in general why your business became the way it was.
Like the origin story.
Yeah, it's your origin story. You know, it's what made you. It's the spider that bit Peter Parker.
So
that's
for
what
manufacturers, it's like, well, I started in my garage. I got one machine. I got one job. It turned into 2 jobs. Turned into 3 jobs. I had to expand. I mean, everyone has an origin.
One of the things to look for are the feelings that came out of it and why you changed that in the first place. Because maybe you revisited your brand and decided that we're founding something different at a certain point because you obviously did. And so talk a little bit more on that. And it could still be your vision. It could still be your family's vision, and I think those are the things that you want to talk about in that vision that you're creating, because it should be the why behind what you do.
Is a brand book actually like a paper book that we're opening up to see our core values, our founder's vision, maybe a picture of the founder with this in quotations?
Absolutely.
Okay,
but
good.
it can also be a PDF. Yep.
Okay, sure.
We're in the digital space. We'll probably forward it around.
And sometimes it's just like a really well done web page.
Those are all things you want to touch base on. So once you move on from the founder's vision, you're going to want to talk about your mission statement, because these are obviously very different things. What you came around doing and why you came to be who you are is different than what your mission is now. And it should be. Your mission statement is the why behind what you do. It's not the why you came to be. It's who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
Yeah, like what you're currently trying to accomplish.
It's what you strap your boots on every day to go do on a day-to-day basis.
Almost like equipping and inspiring manufacturers.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's right. Okay, so you've got some more like brand identifier characteristics. A lot of it's about you. I've seen some where it talks a little bit about who the brand is for.
Yes, and you should. You want to talk about your target demographic and who your audience is. And so I generally wrap this into a personality assessment of the brand. I like to do it in a personality assessment because it's who we're talking to, but also how we talk to them. And so I sort of measure by characteristics of how I want our brand voice to sound and the content that we're producing to be. So for instance...
Like, are we serious or funny or sarcastic?
Serious, funny. Are you tenured? Are you young? And I think it was really fun, especially when creating the MakingChips one. And it's something you need to look at yourself is sometimes you're in the middle for a lot of these things, and that's okay.
Do you mean like you think you're funny, but you're not?
I more mean that your audience is as diverse as your brand personality is.
Sure.
I'm obviously not as tenured as you guys, though I do have my own, coming from Rockford, secret background of manufacturing history through my family. But that's the fun thing, is that where like when it comes to tenured versus like fresh off the boat, we tend to fall a little bit more towards tenured because we have you guys on the team, but we've also got younger, newer people that listen to our podcast that are looking to adventure into becoming a manufacturing leader.
Yeah, like the emerging manufacturing leader.
Exactly.
Sure. You've identified yourself. You've identified who your brand is for. And then one of the other things that you talked about is, so like this media kit. You give this to somebody if they're going to be speaking on behalf of your brand.
Yes.
Touch on that a little bit.
So your media kit should be a compiled version of assets. So this compilation of assets is going to include your logos. This is going to include your typography. It's going to include how you want other people to refer to you as. It's going to talk about, what kind of voice you want them to use when speaking about your brand. And also if there's any absolute no-goes, if there's certain ways that they cannot use your logo within their materials, if there's certain things
like background colors or something.
Yes, background colors, absolutely, which we'll touch base on a little bit more in style guides, but it's definitely more in the realm of like, say your sponsors can use your logo on their website page. However, someone that you're partnered with doesn't have permission to do so. And those are things that you want to include in your media kit. Your media kit should also include any sort of assets that you want to provide people to promote your brand. So these are free assets, things like brochures, print materials, graphics.
Like PR, if there was an article in a paper, you put that in there.
Yes. So like for our clients, we actually compile these and send them out with our press releases. And so with your press release, you get a media kit for one of our clients, and then they can know how to use our logo. If they want to refer to us with tone of voice, they also know some of the contacts if they want to talk about certain things. And it's just sort of this all-in-one of how other brands can work with you in regards to your brand.